Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Rip Curl Dawn Patrol Winter Wetsuit Series for winter 2015 into 2016. So the Dawn Patrol series has been around for a little while now and covers all genders and ages, so there is a Dawn Patrol for everyone. There is quite distinct differences in terms of the shape and some of the sort of key features on the wetsuit, but in principle they are pretty much the same across the range, and the pricing is quite similar as well. So, great looking wetsuits, fantastic different colourways that we've got for this winter, and a huge amount of options. So, you've basically got the kids' wetsuit, which is the chest zip this year. This is slightly different from the men's chest zip, because it's got a sort of a chest zip which is up and over the head, and it isn't locked down on one side, making it easier to get on and off. You've got the back zip wetsuit. You've got the ladies' wetsuit, which doesn't have the smooth skin panel, is more specifically designed for women. I'll sort of show you that in a second. Then you've got the chest entry wetsuits in the Dawn Patrol, no smooth skin, and you have a hooded option as well, which is a bit sort of thicker and a bit more sort of for cold water surfing. So there's a few variances within the Dawn Patrol range, and you should definitely find something within that range that will keep you warm and give you loads of flexibility. But primarily, the key thing about this suit is quality at an affordable price. The Dawn Patrol used to be the entry-level wetsuit, so the cheapest wetsuit within the Rip Curl range. That has now been superseded by the Omega. The Omega is kind of coming as a basic wetsuit, you know, so no bells or whistles, just decent quality neoprene in the upper body, and a price point around about £100 mark, so really quite cheap for a winter wetsuit. Stepping up from that, you move into the Dawn Patrol. Now the Dawn Patrol used to be the entry-level wetsuit, so it was comprised of two different types of neoprene. Now being more of a mid-range wetsuit, you get 100% super stretch neoprene within the wetsuit. Now all of the winter suits that we're talking about, Rip Curl tend to do 5mm on the lower body when you need a bit more thickness, and then 3mm on the upper body when you need more flexibility. Some companies will do a 4mm, O'Neill's wetsuits are all 4mm around the arm, so is Billabong's, but the Rip Curl is 3mm because they believe as long as the core is warm, then you could do with more flexibility in the arm, so they stick to the 3mm. Okay, so comprised of a few different types of neoprene, this wetsuit. It's all super stretch, but within certain areas of the wetsuit it's E4 neoprene, which is pretty much the most flexible, lightweight neoprene that Rip Curl offer. And you can sort of feel that in the upper body, that E4 neoprene. This particular suit, which is the back zip, is a little bit different to the chest zip, okay? There's a few sort of primary or key differences. It is 100% super stretch neoprene, but there's more panelling within the suit. All of the seams that are placed within the suit are glued and blind stitched, as with all suits, so that's basically the same with all of them. So you get stitching on the outside of the suit halfway through, glued on the inside of the suit. There we go, so it creates a seal, stops any water coming through, and then within key areas on the suit where it's more prone to pull apart, you've then got that E4 taping as well. Okay, so that's the same with all of the suits, but with the back zip, you have a bit more panelling going on. The reason for that is that you have a smooth skin chest panel. Okay, now this smooth skin chest panel allows them to put sort of some thermal lining on the inside of the suit. Okay, now that will allow you sort of like actually I'm lying completely, that's still around the back, but it's basically a smooth skin panel which stops wind penetrating the suit, so you don't get any wind sort of pushing through the suit and making you cold. So this suit will be more for sort of traditional people that like to keep wind out of the suit, so you're talking great for wind sports and sort of windsurfing, kite surfing, that kind of thing, and for people that just want to sort of have a bit of protection from cold wind. So that's the sort of primary difference there. And then obviously you've got more seams around the back of the suit where you've got the back zip entry system. The back zip entry system is kind of sewn over the back panel of the wetsuit. So if I open up the suit, it's obviously adjustable. It's done with Velcro. The zip itself is a PK zip, which is a non-corrosive, water-resistant zip. So the back panel itself is sewn over the back panel. The panel doesn't go up and over the head. It just comes right up to the top of your back. So it can be a bit of a pig to pull out sometimes. You might need someone else in the car park to grab it. Once you get the handle on it, it's not too bad. This is where I made the bit of a mistake. The thermal lining isn't on the chest, it's actually around the back panel there. So that back panel that goes underneath here is then thermal lined with Rip Curl's flash dry lining. Okay, and that flash dry lining just dries very quickly, so it feels better against your skin when you put the suit back on, but it's also very good at insulating you and keeping you warmer. And the reason they put it around the lumbar is to keep your back and your kidneys warm, which in turn keep your blood warm, which will keep your body warm. Okay, so that's pretty much the back zip. A great looking wetsuit. It is quite a big difference between this and the chest zip, though, I'd say, because of the amount of seams within the suit and the placement of just the fact that it has a back zip means they had to rejig the suit. But fundamentally, it's all about 100% super stretch and a good quality sort of suit with a bit of thermal lining. If we move on to the ladies, which is also a back zip, it's fundamentally it's a very, very similar wetsuit, but they drop the smooth skin panel on the front of it. And I think that's probably more for aesthetic reasons, to make it look like a nicer wetsuit, but also give it a better fit, because if you've got one piece of neoprene throughout the entire front of the wetsuit, it gives you uninhibited stretch, and it'll actually fit the woman's body a bit better as well. And it's quite a big difference in terms of the panelling on this suit. It's all about the seams running down the side to give the hips sort of lots of comfort and movement and support, so it fits the sort of contours of a woman's body a little bit better and should sort of look better as well. And ultimately, fit is the most important thing. Okay, and obviously the styling of the suit is quite a lot different as well, but the zip entry system is pretty much the same. You've got the zip that goes up and over the back. You have the back panel here, and then lined with the thermal lining as well. Glued and blind stitched, and then obviously you've got all the sort of taping in key areas as well. The interesting difference here is actually this suit has got a roll neck collar, so to create a better seal with your neck, the Dawn Patrol back zip for men just had a single line collar. This is a double roll neck collar, which basically means the inside piece of neoprene sticks against your neck, the outside piece moves independently, which stops any rub and rash from the piece of neoprene there. Also creates a better bond with your neck to stop flush throughs. So nice looking wetsuit, really well put together, 100% super stretch again. Then we can move on to the sort of chest zip wetsuit, which again is fundamentally quite different. So they're a bit of a rejig with the suit. It is 100% super stretch neoprene again, with the E4 in select panels to give you super stretch the whole way through. Duraflex knee pads on all of the suits, standard sort of material used by all manufacturers these days, which stops the wetsuit wearing through. Glued and blind stitch seams, but you can see the fundamental difference here is that you don't have that smooth skin panel across the front. You have one big piece of neoprene similar to the old E-bomb to give you uninhibited movement throughout the whole panel of that suit. Okay, around the back of the wetsuit you get that smooth skin panel here instead. And the reason they put it there is that is then lined on the inside with that flash dry thermal lining, that fluffy stuff. Again, to keep your lumbar warm, keep your blood warm and keep you on the water for longer. It's got the chest entry, which is a single line collar. It's locked down on one side, stitched over the top of the suit, opens diagonally, up and over the head, like that. Two pieces of neoprene open up really wide. Any water that comes in through the collar or through the side, instead of going into the wetsuit, is actually drained out. You've got some drain holes here, or 3 drain holes, and around the front of the wetsuit as well. So that chest system basically flushes out any water. That's pretty much how the chest entry system works. It's quite straightforward, bit harder to get on and off. And the downside with them, because I always use a plastic zip, which infuriates me a little bit, but we don't rarely get any back with warranty issues for the plastic zip. It just feels a little bit cheaper, but we don't get many back, so obviously not too much of a problem, and it is fully covered for a year under warranty as well. So that is the sort of chest zip Dawn Patrol. You get that with the hooded suit as well, and the hooded suit is a 5/4, so it's a bit thicker on the arm. It's got a 2mm hood, and a lot of the suit is lined with that sort of like E4 taping as well. But what I'll do is I'll grab the kids suit and I'll turn it inside out for you, and that should sort of give an indication of what's happening inside the Dawn Patrol wetsuits. Okay, the kids suit is the one suit actually that is thermal lined. Again, is that thermal lining just on the chest. Okay, but again 100% super stretch neoprene, but the difference with the kids suit, to make it easier to get on and off, rather than locking it down on one side on the chest zip, they basically have an over the head panel, flap panel like that. It just makes it easier, you can open it up wider. Okay, so it's going to be easier for kids to get on and off. What I actually will do is I'll turn the chest zip inside out, so have a little look. It's always worth looking inside the suits. It's going to be different for each one, but the basics are going to be the same, which is the sort of type of neoprene, and also the taping in the sort of areas that it's in, and also the thermal lining. So the Dawn Patrol, it's always going to be a great suit if you don't want to spend too much money, but you want a decent quality wetsuit. We sell absolutely loads of these every winter, and very rarely get any sort of complaints or any sent back. The sizing on the suits is really accurate if you use the size chart, and they're also really, really good quality, and they've got, seem to have a good sort of robust long shelf life as well, along with the year warranties that you get from Rip Curl. So this is the suit inside out. Okay, so you've got all the black neoprene is basically the super stretch stuff around the kidneys there. You've got that thermal lining, and then you've got that taping that we mentioned before, just around key areas on the wetsuit, just to make sure that it doesn't pull through. Okay, now that is actually normally E4 taping, but I think this is because I've grabbed a 3-2 with this suit just as an example. But that's pretty much everything going on with the Rip Curl Dawn Patrol for 2015 into 2016. Nice diverse range which covers everyone, and a really good price point on this wetsuit. It's really competitive, and definitely a wetsuit that we would recommend for someone who wants good value for money.